Dear ASML colleagues, normally you could only say this on national television, but the situation allows me to say it here as well. Welcome everybody watching from home, or at the office, of course. And we're very happy that you tuned in to this special well-being show and this great opportunity that PSV is giving us. A warm welcome to our colleagues from Asia, the US and in Europe. We are broadcasting here from the Hertgang, which is the PSV campus, PSV Academy. So you could say this is the heart of people development at PSV. And my name is Menno van Hoek. I am an HR manager within supporting functions at ASML in Veldhoven. I joined 4.5 years ago. And since I talk to a lot of people in my work about happiness and well-being, and also privately, I'm pretty interested in this topic. I like to stay happy and feel well. And on top of that, I'm also a supporter of PSV, so I'm quite happy to be here. This week we will talk to 4 different people, all with their own expertise in regards to well-being. And I'm more than happy to introduce our first guest of the week, Toon Gerbrands. Toon is a former top-level player in volleyball. He coached as a top coach in volleyball. After that, he became manager of an ice skating team. He became general manager of the Dutch soccer club AZ. And since 2014, he joined PSV as becoming the general manager. Toon, thanks for being here again.
Yeah, it's nice to be here because we have a partnership with ASML, and it's good to do something back for you, for the people who work over there. So for me, it is an honor to be here.
Thanks. And I'm sure that there's a lot to learn since we both drive top sports, and ASML, we do that in our own field, PSV in your own field.
Yeah.
The way we work is clear. Actually, what we did is we asked our colleagues, what do you want to know? And based upon that input, we will have a conversation. And we will start off with some statements. And after that, we will also dive into some separately asked questions. But first of all, a question that is linked towards my own happiness, I would say one-on-one. Will we play Champions League next year? And secondly, will we become champions of the Netherlands next year?
Yeah, now let's say every club and that's also every company has goals. And the goal is to go to play Champions League, yes. And the goal is to be champion of Holland. And it's necessary to have goals also in your own life, because you can evaluate why you were successful or why you were not successful, and to learn from this also in your private life. So the goals are clear for us.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to reach it? I say at this moment yes, but yeah, sometimes something happens, and that should be the same question to you. What will be the profit from ASML next year?
Yeah.
Are you going to reach it? And perhaps I have to ask it to Peter Wennick. But the goals are clear also for you.
Yeah.
But if we're going to reach it, yeah, tell me.
Okay, thanks. But at this stage you would say yes, that gives me the confidence to...
Yeah, look, when I came here, let's say in 2014, what you mentioned, there was 7 years in a row no championship.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did in newspapers, the goal is to be champion of Holland.
Yeah.
And in the 4 years after this, 3 times we were champion of Holland. And it's not so easy as to tell it here in this moment. But you have to have clear goals and find the right people to reach those goals.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Also at ASML we try to approach it in that way. And I think there's a lot to learn for our colleagues at ASML. And let's start with the first statement. People with passion for their work don't feel work pressure. What's your view on that one?
Yeah, the most nice word what's there is the word passion. If you find people with passion, that are people who are doing things with a lot of energy, doing things with their heart, don't have everything under control, because if you have everything under control, you cannot name it passion. So sometimes you do it a little bit too much, sometimes a little bit too less, but always you try to find the limits. That's passion. And if I have people with passion, I don't have to motivate them. They do their own job. And yeah, if I have a nice job, of course, sometimes there is pressure. Mm-hmm. But the most nice story I ever heard, when I was at Olympic Games, Katie Freeman had to run the 400 meters. And the whole nation was looking at her for the result. And then before the game, before the race, they asked her, what do you do with the pressure? And she said, pressure is a privilege. I am in this position to have the pressure. I worked for it for many years, and now I have to find the privilege that it is. So if you have a big company, you have a good job, then there is a kind of pressure to perform.
Yeah.
And I agree with her. It is a privilege to have pressure.
Yeah, yeah. And looking at passion, is it easy to find passion for yourself?
No, I think it has a lot of direct relationship with your character. It is not possible to learn people to learn passion, but if you put them in the right job and in the right environment, the passion will be there. So try to find out what kind of people you have, what are their talents, and use the talents. And when you put them in the right position, then people go to their work with a big smile.
Yeah.
And talking about happiness, then you work with happiness in your work. So, but put them in the right position. And if you don't do this, then the happiness or the pressure will be big, and you have a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Let's go to the second statement, which is a bit in line. On the other hand, being busy is a wrong way of personal marketing.
Yeah.
What's your view on that one?
Yeah. Now, that's one of my remarks. And look, if somebody is too busy, look, I'm a CEO from a club, so 250 people work over here. And if I should only be in meetings and doing my mails and having all those reports to read and so on, how can I talk with people? And if they think I'm too busy, they don't open the door, or they don't give me extra information because he's too busy. And that's completely wrong. Let's say when you talk about leadership or working together with people, look, 250 people work here. Mm-hmm. And if young players between 18 and 25 score goals, then everybody's telling me you're a good CEO from the club. And so if they do a good job, then everybody's happy about me. So what I have to learn is to help those people, to coach those people to do their job. And that means for me that I need in my agenda 20 hours without any meeting, without any mails, so nothing in my agenda. And if you want to be leader and you don't have those 20 hours, how can I show leadership? So that means that if I'm too busy, then I cannot talk with people, I cannot help people, I cannot coach people. So I hope that everybody says that also people in big jobs by ASML, they're available. Mm-hmm. I hope they see them a lot. And if you have a question, you can go over there, because all the other people have to do their right jobs and not me. And then I'm a good CEO.
And how to make that practical? So to say, okay, 20 hours a week, I block my agenda, but also the requests coming in could be more than 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
How to manage that? Because I can imagine, at least it happens to me as well, fully booked agenda, and then on top of that I think, well, I'll take that one because I help somebody else. Yeah. How to?
First of all, I have to say that the answer has no relationship with my current job, because otherwise people could say, yeah, you're CEO, it's more easy to say yes or no to all kinds of meetings. No, I already do this for 15 years. The first question you have to answer is, who's responsible for the agenda? And if you're responsible for your own agenda, then it's up to you where you say yes and no. And a lot of people think that if you say no to a meeting, or you don't like it, or we talked about passion and using your own talents, a lot of meetings you cannot use your talents, or it costs you a lot of energy to be in those meetings. And that's wrong. So if you're responsible for your agenda and you wanted to block 20 hours, it's up to you. You can start tomorrow and put everything out. And only have 20 hours with meetings or those kind of things. And if somebody wants to have an extra meeting, most of the time you say no. Yeah. And it's up to you.
Yeah. And do you ever experience a conflict of interest? So for instance, out of your function you need to be somewhere, but intrinsically you would say it doesn't add value?
No, most of the time when you talk with people in another level, it has to do something with fear. Fear about how other people will react on you. Fear with yourself. You say, okay, when I say no to this meeting, what will be the influence on my career, or those kind of things. And it is completely opposite. What I always tell to people, no is the starting of negotiations. look, I have children, and when one of my children should go to a bar and they say, can I come home at 2 in the night? And I say yes. Then they think, oh, something is wrong. Why does he say yes? They miss something. Why did they ask for 3 o'clock? And if I should say no, they ask me why.
Yeah.
Why do you say no to 2 o'clock? So now I don't want you to be alone on the street in the night. Okay, but when my friends bring me home, is it possible then? And those kind of things. So what I learned is no is the starting of negotiation, because also for your own job, when you ask to do all kinds of actions, to make papers, to be on meetings and so on, and you say, every time you say yes, they give you the next job and the next job and the next job until you say no.
Yeah.
So a good course to be happy is to learn to say no.
Okay.
And that's easy.
Yeah.
2 words.
Yeah.
2 letters, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. It's even more easy than yes, because that's 3
That's
letters.
3.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's yes.
Yeah.
And think about it has to do something with your own character.
Yeah.
And of course, people are working hard enough, so that's not the issue. But do you have the right focus? And that has also, we're talking now about ASML and so on, but also in your personal life. Because in case of ASML, perhaps you cannot control everything, but in personal life, all the other hours that you live, you can control. What you're going to do?
Yeah.
Where are you going to say yes or no to what? Do you like to be with your family or those kind of things? I can tell you one example in my own life. I had one of the most difficult points in my life. I was working in Alkmaar, and then the owner was bankrupt, and it was not going well with the soccer club, and the girlfriend from my son, die died on a very young age. And all those 4 points came together. And then somebody came in and they said to me, what do you find important in your life? Is it your work? Is your relationship, so with your children and with your wife? Is it your health? Is it your spare time? Or the meaning of life? And what you find important? And he came back one day later and I said, I find a very difficult question. Yeah. Because sometimes you have to help your son because it was a very severe situation. Yeah. But at the club, we had to survive because the owner was bankrupt and the 100 people needed a job. And when you ask this to people, almost nobody puts in work. Everybody say health or a relationship with your wife or with your children. It's okay if that's a priority. All your time and all choices will be made because of those 2 things. But that's not true, because your work is very important. And those 5 things have to be in balance. Yeah. So I work hard, but I run 3 times a week for my health. I sleep well. My food is well. We're going to talk about it with other people. So that everything is well. But I also have some spare time. I do some very interesting things, nice things, watching movies, but also to my family I have enough time. So if you put it in balance and that is your way of life, then I can say easily no to a lot of things. Yeah. So if somebody wants to have, let's say, a lecture and it's 2 hours away to drive, I say no. And if they say, why doesn't, I say, that doesn't fit in my focus, doesn't fit in my personal plan. Yeah. So my advice is a long answer, but what my advice should be, make your own plan and stick to the plan.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's move to the next one. When there is no time to relax, especially then it's time to relax.
Yeah, that of course has something to do with when you're very busy, then you need time to go out and to really relax. And what you see in a lot of top functions, also let's say when you're minister of Holland, or those kinds of jobs, or very CEOs with very busy jobs, they need time to relax. And but I say I don't have any time. So that means that I will give one example. I was in Australia, and with the coach over there, and then there was a specialist who came to us who was a specialist in sleep, and he asked us the question: do you know the sleeping patterns of your players? And we tried to give answer, but he said, okay, I hear from the answer that the answer is no, you don't know it. And then he said to me, so 1/3 of your life, you don't know enough, you don't have enough knowledge about this. And that was really a wake-up call for us. We said, okay, so everybody sleeps 1/3 of his life. And what we find out, if you sleep 1 hour too less, then you have 10% more chance to make all kinds of mistakes. And also here at the hertgang, if a player should sleep 1 hour too less, we have 10% more chance of an injury. So for us it's important, and also for people at ASML, it's better to come 1 hour later and sleep 1 hour longer. Then you have a better performance than always to be at 8 o'clock and only sleep for 6 hours, and that has something to do with this. So if you have a busy job, you need to relax, do a lot of interesting things, but also control your sleeping pattern. And everybody has all the knowledge about good cars, but why don't we have enough knowledge about a good bed? Because 1/3 of your life you're sleeping in the bed. Yeah. So you can better give some extra money for a good bed than for a good car. Yeah. But nobody knows what's the best bed in the world. Yeah. Yeah. And that's an interesting question for people to find out. What's the best bed, and do investment in this. Yeah.
Okay. That's a nice angle, and I'm questioning myself. Do you also monitor the way your players sleep, for instance?
For sure. And we in Australia, they have watches, and those watches you can see how many hours they slept. And sometimes there's also a situation that somebody becomes father. So and that means that it's very difficult to sleep sometimes. Yeah. And then we have coaches who say, look, they slept too less. Then they only do the afternoon training and not the morning training. Okay. Because of those kinds of things. So we try to monitor it. We try to find out how it is. But also when we have away games, what time do we fly? Let's say when you play Champions League, what you want. We play at 9 o'clock. 2 hours again is 11 o'clock. Yeah. Then people, when you have a lot of adrenaline, you don't sleep for 3.5, 4 hours. Okay. And no matter what you do, you cannot sleep. So, and if you give a sleeping pill, then you don't sleep well enough. So, let's say 11 o'clock, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Then 8 hours again to sleep. That means that the breakfast is 11 o'clock and then we fly. Okay. So those kind of schedules are related with sleep. Okay. So one of the big issues also, I think, with ASML should be to try to find out if 1/3 of the life of every ASML employee is okay. Yeah. Okay. And it's a completely different way of looking at happiness and those kind of things. But if you're in a good shape, if you're fit, if you're in the right job, in the right place, and you have your own focus, then you're already going to a lot of happiness for yourself. Yeah. Because for your situation, for your own feeling, it's controllable. Yeah. Okay, it makes sense while listening to you. Yeah. I think I can do something with that already. A lot of people, I tell you. Yeah. A lot of people. Yeah. When we talk with a lot of also CEOs, everybody recognizes it. Yeah. And the difficult point is that everybody understands what we're discussing here now. Yeah. But then you have to go to behavior. Yeah, and do something with it. For sure. Yeah. And there's only one people who is responsible, it's yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And let's say in the program you're having is to help people to make choices in this. Yeah. And if you can change the behavior a little bit, step by step, then they make big steps. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Let's move on to the next one. Winning or losing shouldn't affect your well-being. Yeah, that's. I have to be honest. Look, when I lose a game, and look, in my position, I have to be in a situation that, let's say, I have to be in control. But in my body, it's not in control because we lost. Yeah. And the uncertainty will go in a bigger way. So, of course, it affects your well-being, but only for a very short time. In sport, we have the 24-hour rule. That means that if you win something very important, perhaps a championship or those kind of things, 24 hours, perfect. Okay. This big world, we have good players over there, we have a good coach, we have a good CEO, everybody's happy about what's happening there. And the same with losing. Yeah. So in 24 hours, you can have a bad feeling about what happened, but then you have to go on. And give another place. And of course, we can say when we lose 3-4 games in a row and nobody's happy, we can also stop at the club. We can end PSV, but that is not the answer. So we have to go on, and it is never a straight line up. Yeah. So sometimes you're having a very good time, everything is going well, and sometimes it's very difficult. But let's say that the commitment from people you can test it when the situation is difficult and we're losing.
Yeah.
And if people then go, then I don't need those people. I need people who try to help us in difficult situations, and we work together and we try to do it better and so on. So life is not only going up.
Yeah.
So it's also a little bit sometimes going down, or you have to control yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. And what does it mean if you have 24 hours and, for instance, you've lost a match? Can a player be angry then on the training field, or?
Yeah, they are. When you're talking about the dressing room,
Yeah.
nobody has cameras in the dressing room. But when you should be in the dressing room, there are happening all kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's good that they're not in public.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes, most of the time, I'm in control. But sometimes I'm driving back in my car, and then also sometimes yelling at people or those kind of things.
Yeah.
But I cannot do this because we're a big sport, and when I should do that in public, then all the programs we're talking about football will say that I'm not a good CEO and those kinds of things. So I have to be in control. So my attitude is you don't see that it affects me, but in my emotion, it really affects me.
Yeah.
And that's also okay, because if it should not affect me in my emotion, they need another CEO from this club.
Yeah.
Because this is emotion, this is about performance, this is about focus and so on. But I will be honest, the first 24 hours is difficult.
Yeah. Is there an advice for the people at ASML? Because we work with deadlines, projects, day-to-day tasks, everything, and sometimes we succeed, but sometimes we don't.
You can also start with 24 hours rule. So your emotion can be 24 hours perfect or very low, or even angry, or all those kind of things.
Yeah.
And then in those 24 hours, you have time to reset yourself and go on with the next job. Because we hire you to help us, because you have talents to help ASML, and we need those talents, and we don't need the emotion.
Yeah, so it's okay, but at one point in time there's a button
for
to
sure.
say, okay,
and that's it, and then also stop with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So push the button, reset everything.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Let's move to the next one, and that's a question. So a lot of questions we have processed in these statements, but also we have some separately asked questions. And again, thanks for raising these questions. First one: how can I put well-being and happiness on my managers' and colleagues' agenda? How to make it important?
Yeah, in my way of how I think about things, it has only to do with yourself. I don't put my well-being in the agenda of a colleague or a manager. When I'm happy, when I make some choices, when I'm responsible for those things, then I'm happy, and then my well-being is okay. So and the only thing you can do against your manager and your colleagues is show that you're authentic. So if you say no to somebody, explain why.
Yeah.
Explain why. So look, this is the way why I don't go in this meeting, because or it gives me not the good energy, or I have more to do because I want 20 hours to talk with all the people I work, and that's more important than this meeting.
Yeah.
And then see what happens, because we talked a little bit about fear, but if you show this, then a lot of people will tell you, okay, he's a big personality.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants. And if you also have the right behavior and you show this every day, then people are going to ask you questions. How do you do this?
Yeah.
Why do you do this? And I explain again that it has nothing to do with my position and my role. I do this already for a long time. And let's say in my personal life, I'm the CEO.
Yeah.
Everybody's CEO of his own life.
Yeah.
So then you can choose what you want.
Yeah.
So if you don't sleep long enough, it's up to you.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough time for your family, it's up to you. And because you make the choices.
Yeah.
And I already explained to you when we talked before this for this show. What I should advise for everybody is take a piece of paper and make an ideal week for you. And if you want to work, you put in work. If you want to run 3 times a week or go with the bike, put it in. If you want to do with your children, put it in. If you want to do the emails at home, put it in. If it is for your ideal week. If it is not, don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you have the schedule for yourself, also ask your wife or your girlfriend to make the same schedule. Talk about it, and that's your week.
Yeah.
And then it's very easy to make choices. because then you spend more time perhaps with your children, or see a good movie, or going to eat with or dinner with your wife, and then everything is in control.
Yeah.
So just like easy as this, they learned it also to me.
Yeah.
And and why should you do it less than your ideal week?
Yeah. Because you are the CEO of your own personal life and
personal life for sure.
Yeah.
And then it also changes a little bit to your work, and then you get the experience of saying no or making choices and so on. And so a lot of people can do it directly in the work, and if you find it very difficult, then become CEO of your own life.
Yeah.
In your own time.
Yeah.
And nobody can control this except yourself.
Okay. It makes sense, putting boundaries in, and also your ideal life, so to say. I can also imagine that some people need to get used to that. For instance, if I change my way of working as of today, is there any advice in how to approach people on this? Or
I worked with a very famous coach, Louis van Gaal. A lot of people, they know him. Yeah. He's a very famous coach in Holland, but also Barcelona and all those kinds of Manchester United. And when something didn't work, he went to the group and said, look, it doesn't work anymore. And then I asked the players about this meeting, and they said, we knew it already for a long time. So if you want to change something, start tomorrow and say it doesn't work in the best way. We start tomorrow, and then everybody in your environment says, I already knew it for a couple of years, but you didn't see it. So everybody knows that you're right if you make another decision. Yeah. And let's say for sure in your own family, with your children, because the children are always honest, and they will show you that you're never at home, and you already know it, but they tell you. Yeah. And if you're going to say you're going to change it, to say, okay, we already knew it for a long time, that has to be the case. Yeah. So start tomorrow and say it doesn't work anymore. And also when you work with people and you want to change it tomorrow, CEOs can say tomorrow we're going to do it in another better way. Yeah. And everybody say, okay, I'm relaxed because we already knew that could be a better way. Yeah. So don't wait for your next job. Yeah. So do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Let's move to the next one. I was always best in class, and now I'm the average. It does not make me happy, and how to deal with that feeling?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because we have a lot of experience with this. Because we have a lot of soccer players. Some people start when they're at the age of 12. Yeah. And from those players, let's say the 16 players start when they're 12 years old, I think only 2 will go to the first team. And when you're in the first team, perhaps 4 go to a big club or to a big competition. And that means that everybody has somewhere a limit to where the knowledge is. And if you're the best in the class, let's say if you go from here to Barcelona, you're not the best anymore. And sometimes perhaps you come on the bench. And when you come on the bench, then is that your level, because other players are better. And but let's put it in well-being. What's very important for everybody is to know to know yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you say this is my level and my top level is playing at PSV in the first team, okay, that's it. And you can be very happy if you accept that this level. And of course you can try, mm-hmm. You can make a next step. But if you see it's difficult and I don't have the passion because I cannot play and I wanted to play, then sometimes you have to accept for yourself, this is my level. And that's knowledge about yourself. And a lot of people dream. Mm-hmm. They wanted to be the best player of the world. And let's say this is always true, because when you play in Barcelona with Messi, then not the best in the class. Yeah. So then you have to be the best in the world when you have to give an answer to this question. So accept. Try to do everything. Try to go to the limit. And if you say, look, this is my limit, accept it. Yeah. Or take another job and go to a smaller company and be the best over there. Yeah. If you want to be the best over there, it's also okay for me. Yeah.
And it makes sense listening to you, but I also, and I hear a certain realism that is for importance. Yeah. How to create that realism?
So sometimes find a good friend who's honest to you. Okay. So I also have some people who are always honest to me. Yeah. And sometimes they see something in the press and then they give me a text message or they phone me. And then it's okay. I don't say directly they're right, but I know they're right.
Yeah.
And if I don't know who is asking this question, but if somebody in his environment is asking this question, then I hope that somebody who is his friend or is a good colleague or a coach or something like this can say, look, you're perfect in this.
Yeah.
This is your job. And when you're not the best at ASML, you can also have a new hobby and be the best in your free time. Yeah. If you want to really be the best. And it's always difficult when you want to be the best and somebody's a little bit better, then your goal is gone.
Yeah.
So this is very dangerous.
Yeah.
This approach.
Yeah, and a certain realism is key in this then too.
Yeah, realism with passion.
Yeah.
So try to find the limits.
Yeah.
Try to find out how far you can go. That's what I say.
Okay.
But when you find the limit, not only one time, you go on, you fight again. But at the end, then you have to say, okay, I did everything.
Yeah.
Look, am I the best CEO? I'm here with PSV. Can I go to a foreign club? Yes or no? For me, I have the focus to be here.
Yeah.
So if now a club from the Premier League should phone me, the answer is no.
Yeah.
But they cannot even talk with me because I make the decision to be here a few years, and it gives me rest and it gives me well-being to say no. Yeah, but can we talk about the new job? I say no. But you can earn 4 times more than you earn at PSV. I say, yeah, I know. But the answer is no. Yeah. And that's very relaxing because that means for us that they don't come. I don't have to think about it. I'm for 3-4 years in a good focus. I try to use my talents. And from there on, the answer is always no. Yeah. And also there. So,
okay.
Coaching, realistic, and focus. And accept who you are, in which environment you are. Because ASML is one of the top companies in the world. Yeah. And if you want to be the best over there, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a good dream. It's good to try. Yeah. But if it's not possible...
Okay, clear.
Yeah.
Thanks. I think we can take one more question before we go to the end question. How can I make the difference in an organization with 25,000 colleagues?
Oh, very easy. Stick to yourself. Use your passion. And be reliable to everybody you work with. And what I say, if I worked also in a company, a government company with 10,000 people. What I did, I always isolated myself with 4, 5, 6 people. Then have a nice job to do. And when I was good in this, then the people said to me, we have another job for you. So what you have to do is make your own project, make your own choices, focus on it. You have enough possibilities over there in this company, I think, as far as I know them, and be successful. And when you're successful, then you get a new job and you develop yourself. So don't look at the 25,000 as a number. Yeah. Look at the only 10 people perform and make the difference.
Okay, so make it a bit smaller.
For sure, a lot smaller. When I was working with 10,000 people, I had 8 people who did innovation. Yeah. And I didn't, all the rules were not for me. Yeah. So I worked with it, I tried to get successful, and they complained about me because I didn't follow all the rules, but I was successful and I got a new, better job. Yeah. So
okay, thanks. It's kind of a rephrase of this question, but it makes sense. Okay, thanks. Then we go to the last question, which is also the finalization of this interview. What is your best career advice for everyone watching?
Yeah, that's a good question. And for me, it's always very simple. I didn't have any career plans, not at all. What I did, when I started a new job, I gave myself a kind of limit. Let's say I stayed there for 3 or 4 or 5 years, unconditionally. So that means that if somebody would come and say, no, you come back to me in 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. So it gives you rest. It gives you the way to develop yourself. And only stick to yourself. So that means that use everything to develop yourself, but also to know yourself. And if those two things are together, I think with ASML you have a lot of possibility to develop yourself. And then the most important thing, but that also those kind of shows, learn to know yourself. And so the best career advice is not to have a career.
Yeah, and stay authentic to yourself.
Yeah, or what you say, you're the personal CEO from your own life, but you also have your own career outside the work of ASML.
Yeah.
And there you can decide what you want. So
Okay.
for me, it's easy.
Thanks very much. And also to the viewers, this was the first interview out of 4, and I really want to thank Toon Gerbrands in this.
Yeah.
Thanks for your vision and your views on the statements and questions we've received. Tomorrow we will talk to Luc van Acht, who is a performance manager within PSV, and I'm sure that there's a lot to learn from him as well. But for now, thanks for watching. Hopefully see you tomorrow, and have a good day.